If you are hearing this message now, it means something in your spirit called it in. It wasn't a coincidence, not a random scroll or an algorithmic suggestion. It was energy meeting energy. You've asked. You've visualized. You've opened your journal, repeated your affirmations, done the inner work. And still, the wealth hasn't arrived the way you thought it would. Not yet. But the truth is, it's already on its way. You just need to stop holding it back. This message is not here to teach you something new. It's here to help you let go. Let go of the control. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the silent pressure that says, why hasn't it happened yet? Because that pressure is resistance. And resistance blocks flow. You see, the universe doesn't operate on deadlines. It operates on trust. And the moment your energy shifts from, where is it, to I know it's coming, everything begins to move. Silently, invisibly, but surely. You were never meant to chase wealth. You were meant to attract it through frequency. And your frequency, your true, deep, unshakable vibration, only becomes magnetic when it's grounded in trust. Not forced positivity. Not anxious waiting disguised as gratitude. Real trust. Trust that knows. Trust that rests. Trust that allows. This is your invitation to rest in that vibration. To release the tension between you and what you desire. And to understand that the reason it hasn't arrived is not because you're doing something wrong, but because the universe has been waiting for you to stop interfering. What if everything you've asked for is already lined up, but it's waiting for you to let go? If you stay until the end of this message, fully, deeply present, you'll begin to feel something shift inside you. Not a rush, not a burst of motivation, but a quiet recalibration, a settling, a softening of the parts of you that don't yet know how to trust. And when those parts soften, you open. And when you open, you receive. So give yourself this space. Just for now. Let the tension drop. Let the breath deepen. You don't need to figure anything out right now. You don't need to get it right. You don't need to manifest faster. You only need to remember one thing. The universe heard you the first time. It heard the words you said. It felt the vibration behind your intentions. And it began moving immediately. It didn't forget. It didn't hesitate. It simply started arranging everything in perfect order that you can't yet see because the view from here is limited. But the design is in motion, and your only role now is to allow it. As you listen to the words ahead, listen not with your mind but with your field. Let the words enter you like sound waves, not logic. You don't need to understand every phrase. You only need to feel what resonates. Let the energy of this message reach the part of you that already knows how to trust. The part that existed before fear, before pressure, before performance. That part of you is still here. And it's ready to lead now. So stay. Let this be your pause. Your release. Your recalibration. Watch until the final breath. Not to learn, but to remember. Because what's coming is already yours. It just needs a clear path. And your surrender clears the way. We live in a vibrational universe. Not theoretical, not poetic, but literal. Everything you see, touch, think, and feel is a wave of energy. And every wave has a frequency. Trust has a frequency. So does fear. So does doubt. So does control. These frequencies don't just shape how you feel. They shape how the universe responds to you. Because the universe is not responding to your words. It's responding to your vibration. You may have heard that money is energy. That wealth is not paper or coins or numbers on a screen, but a dynamic, flowing field of resonance. And it's true. Money has a pulse. It flows to places where it's safe to land. It gravitates toward calm, open, trusting spaces. When you hold a frequency of trust, you become magnetic. Not because you force the universe's hand, but because you create space for it to act freely. That's what trust is, spiritual spaciousness. The opposite of clutching. The opposite of pushing. And yet, most people are taught to do the opposite. They're taught to grip tighter when things don't show up. To work harder, to visualize more intensely, to fix their energy like they're broken. But trust doesn't live in that frantic space. Trust is quiet. Trust is slow. Trust is when you can feel the absence of something and still feel complete. When you can sense the delay and still feel safe. That is the frequency where wealth feels welcome. There's a pattern that repeats itself for so many who are on the spiritual path. You set intentions. You raise your vibration. You open your heart. And then, nothing happens. At least not immediately. And that silence, that waiting, becomes filled with doubt. You start thinking maybe something's wrong. Maybe you didn't do it right. Maybe the universe didn't hear you. But the truth is, that space is sacred. That pause is part of the process. It's where your frequency is tested, not by punishment but by preparation. Because anyone can feel aligned when the manifestations come fast. But can you hold the vibration when nothing seems to be happening? Can you remain open when your mind wants to panic? That's when trust becomes real. That's when the field says, yes, they're ready. You are not waiting on the universe. The universe is responding to your vibration of trust, or your vibration of tension. And when you try to force what you've already asked for, you confuse the signal. You emit both desire and fear. You pull in two directions. And the field, always precise, mirrors back the static. But when you relax into the knowing that it's already been received, you shift. You stop asking the same question. You stop checking the mailbox of the quantum field. You stop repeating the frequency of lack. And you begin broadcasting stability, safety, allowing. That is the frequency that unlocks what's already been sent to you. Think of a seed planted underground. It doesn't sprout faster because you dig it up and stare at it. It needs space, darkness, stillness. It needs trust. So do your manifestations. When you've done the asking, when you've visualized, affirmed, aligned, the final phase is not more effort. The final phase is surrender. That's the real art of manifestation. Not creation, allowing. Not commanding the field but dancing with it. Trust is not passive. Trust is presence. Trust is choosing peace in the unknown. Trust is vibrating at a level that says, I don't need to control this because I know it's already mine. The question isn't whether you've asked for it correctly. The question is, can you hold the frequency of belief without needing to see it yet? And if you can, the universe doesn't hesitate. It delivers what matches your field. And it always does so, in divine timing. Close your eyes if you can, or simply soften your gaze. Let your breath be the only thing that matters right now. Inhale slowly through your nose, and exhale softly through your mouth. Again, slower this time, in and out. You are not trying to get anywhere. You are not trying to fix anything. You are simply arriving into your body, into your breath, into the present. Now, feel the space around you. The air is not empty. It is alive. It holds memory, possibility, frequency. And every time you relax, you allow it to move through you more freely. With your next inhale, bring your attention to the center of your chest. That's your heart space. Not just a physical organ, an energetic field. A magnetic center that has the power to draw in what aligns and dissolve what doesn't. As you breathe into this space, imagine a soft glow, golden, warm, steady, pulsing gently. With every inhale, this golden light expands. With every exhale, it clears static. It clears doubt. It clears noise. You are not doing this through force. You are doing it through permission, through presence. That is what trust really is, letting go of the tension between you and life. Letting the universe breathe with you, not against you. Now let that golden light move down, slowly, gently, through your chest, your stomach, your hips, your legs, all the way to your feet. Feel yourself rooting into the earth. Feel how steady it is. Feel how it holds you without effort. You don't have to do anything for gravity to work. You just exist, and you are supported. Wealth works the same way. When you're aligned, you don't need to chase it. You just exist, and it flows. With your next breath, bring your awareness to the space between your eyebrows, your inner vision. Not a picture, just presence. Let your mind settle. You don't need to visualize anything specific right now. You're not here to force a scene. You're here to create an opening. The energy of wealth is trying to reach you. And the only thing it needs is space. Space comes from stillness, from trust, from breath. Now breathe in slowly again, and as you exhale, release all urgency. Imagine it leaving your body like smoke. The need to know when, the need to control how, the fear that says maybe it won't happen. Let it all go. Not because you're giving up, but because you're tuning in. There is a deeper part of you that already knows. A part of you that has seen the future and knows how it ends. A part of you that is not waiting, but welcoming. Say this softly in your mind. I trust the unseen. Again, I trust the unseen. Let those words ripple through your body. Let them settle into the spaces where fear used to live. Let them remind your nervous system that safety doesn't come from certainty. It comes from alignment. There is nothing to chase, nothing to perform, nothing to force. The work now is allowing, receiving, opening. Breathe into that. Feel the stillness. Feel the peace that's always been waiting beneath the surface. You don't need to earn your abundance. You need to welcome it. And right now you are. There is a single phrase that, when embodied, changes everything. It dissolves resistance. It softens timelines. It opens the path. It's not loud. It doesn't come with fireworks. But it is the key the universe responds to with total precision. The phrase is this: I no longer chase what is already mine. I allow it to arrive. That's the code. Simple but powerful. It doesn't work because it's magic. It works because it matches the frequency of the field. You see, when you chase something, you emit a vibration of lack. You say without words, I don't have it yet. You anchor yourself in the gap, and the universe, always responding to your state, reflects that gap right back to you. But when you shift to allowing, something changes. Your energy becomes receptive. Your field relaxes. You're no longer sending signals of urgency, you're sending signals of openness. And that is when things begin to move. The reason so many people ask, visualize, journal, and affirm, and still see no change, is because underneath it all, they are still holding on. Still trying to force the how. Still watching the clock. Still carrying the weight of when. But the universe doesn't deliver on pressure. It delivers on peace. Because peace is the highest form of trust. To embody this code, you must first understand something deeper. What you've asked for already exists. Not in your imagination, in the field. In the quantum space where all possibilities are alive at once. The wealth you desire is not on its way, like a package waiting to be shipped. It's already here in a vibrational state. And your job is not to find it, but to become the version of you that matches it. That version doesn't cling, doesn't question, doesn't beg. That version breathes. That version trusts. That version knows. Let's say you've asked the universe for financial freedom. You've felt it in your heart. You've visualized it in your body. The field has already received that request. The signal has been sent. The shift is already in progress. But then, your mind starts calculating, worrying, trying to figure out the when, the where, the how. That tension disrupts the frequency. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because the field mirrors you. Here's the truth: the more you force, the more you delay. Not because you're doing it wrong, but because you're trying to control what was never yours to control. Trust is not about doing nothing. It's about doing less of what pulls you out of alignment, and more of what restores your calm. When you're calm, your frequency stabilizes. And when your frequency stabilizes, the universe delivers. So ask yourself this gently: can I allow what I've already asked for? Can I hold the frequency of enoughness while it arrives? Can I trust that it's working even if I can't see it yet? This is the invitation. Not to push harder, but to let go deeper. Let go of the fear that says it's too late. Let go of the belief that you're missing something. Let go of the idea that it must look a certain way. The universe is far more creative than your mind. And the wealth you desire may come in a form you haven't even imagined. That's why surrender is required. Because your mind wants control, but your soul wants flow. Repeat the code inside you now, not as a command but as a knowing. I no longer chase what is already mine. I allow it to arrive. Say it again. Let it echo in your field. Let it settle into the places where you once doubted. And let it change the way you move through every single day from now on. Because the moment you stop chasing is the moment the universe starts delivering. Now that you've heard the truth, it's time to vibrate with it. Words are not just sounds, they are signals. When spoken with presence, they ripple through your field, your body, your subconscious. Affirmations are not for convincing. They are for calibrating. They tune you to the frequency of what you already are, beneath the noise of doubt. So breathe slowly, and let every phrase become a seed planted in your energy. You don't need to feel them perfectly. You only need to say them with sincerity, with softness, with openness. Repeat with me, in your mind or out loud if you can. I trust the timing of the universe. Say it again slower. I trust the timing of the universe. Let it loosen the grip of urgency in your chest. Everything I've asked for is already in motion. Not someday. Not far away. In motion. No. Everything I've asked for is already in motion. I release the need to control. Breathe into that. Let the weight drop. I release the need to control. The wealth I desire is seeking me too. You're not alone in this. The current flows both ways. The wealth I desire is seeking me too. Now place your hands on your heart if it feels right, and say, I'm safe to receive without knowing how. Feel that permission open a doorway. I'm safe to receive without knowing how. My peace is more powerful than my pressure. Let that truth anchor you. My peace is more powerful than my pressure. Say this next one slowly like a mantra. The more I let go, the more flows to me. Again with feeling. The more I let go, the more flows to me. Now take a slow inhale, and with your exhale say, I no longer chase. I allow. Once more. I no longer chase. I allow. Let's go deeper. Say this as a declaration to the field. I walk as someone who knows it's already done. Feel that truth echo in your spine. I walk as someone who knows it's already done. And now, breathe into your belly, slow and low, and affirm. My frequency is calm, open, and magnetic. Say it again with presence. My frequency is calm, open, and magnetic. Feel the field around you shifting. Your energy is remembering what your mind forgot. Now bring all of this into one clear vibration, and repeat. I am the vibration of trust. I am the vibration of wealth. Once more. I am the vibration of trust. I am the vibration of wealth. Let these phrases settle in. Let them echo beyond this moment. You are not just saying them now. You are programming your body to carry them into every decision, every thought, every breath. Affirmations are not just daily routines. They are frequency anchors. They hold you in the energy of your becoming, even when your mind wants to slip back into old patterns. So whenever you feel the need to rush, whenever doubt knocks, whenever the outside world tries to tell you it's not happening, return here. Return to these words. Not to make something happen, but to return to who you really are. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are already vibrating in alignment, and everything you've asked for is already answering you. You are no longer becoming. You are being. You are no longer waiting. You are receiving. Something subtle but irreversible has already shifted in your field. You're not chasing alignment anymore. You are alignment. You're not looking for signs. You are the signal. And the universe is responding. There is a quiet power that rises when you release the need to prove, to grasp, to hustle for your place in the flow. That power isn't loud. It doesn't need applause. It simply vibrates. And it says, I am ready because I've already remembered who I am. That remembrance is the most sacred turning point in any journey. Because once you know, truly know, that what you seek is already yours, the field has no choice but to reflect it. This is the moment when manifestation stops being a concept and becomes a frequency. You've moved beyond asking, beyond hoping, beyond controlling. You are now living in the frequency of allowing, of trusting, of knowing. And when that knowing becomes your default state, everything begins to arrive. Silently, naturally, effortlessly. Because the universe doesn't speak in words. It speaks in vibration. And your vibration is now stable, grounded, magnetic. This is the moment the energy settles. The moment the doors begin to open. Not because you forced them, but because you finally stopped standing in their way. Repeat these words inside yourself not as a request, but as a spiritual declaration. I no longer need to see it to believe it. Because I believe it, and that's why I'll see it. Say it again. Let it settle into the stillness of your breath. I believe it, and that's why I'll see it. This is not faith without reason. This is faith because you know the field responds to trust, not tension. This is where your life starts to mirror your inner frequency, not your fears. You are not fragile. You are not hoping for scraps from the universe. You are the current. You are the vessel. You are the frequency that wealth recognizes as home. From this moment forward, you do not walk with lack in your vibration. You do not repeat the story of not yet. You do not reattach to impatience or fear. You walk with quiet certainty. You speak with calm power. You decide from abundance, even before the numbers show up. Because you know, what's already yours doesn't need to be earned again. It only needs to be received. And you are receiving. Say it now one last time as the deepest truth in your energy field. It is already mine. Again, it is already mine. Not someday. Not after I do more. Not when everything aligns perfectly. No, here, already. Let this be the new set point of your energy. Not activated by emotion, but held steady by peace. You are no longer vibrating in the gap. You are vibrating in the arrival. And the field is adjusting itself to meet you there. There's nothing else you need to say. Nothing else you need to ask. The declaration is complete. And the wealth you've asked for is already on its way. If something inside you softened, if a part of you released, if your breath feels slower, your heart feels lighter, your thoughts feel clearer, then you are not imagining the shift. It is real. You've just tuned your frequency to one of the rarest and most powerful energies in this world, surrender. And from here, the field begins to respond in ways that are quiet at first, then undeniable. You are not just a receiver of this transmission. You are now a transmitter. And what you do with this frequency matters, not just for you but for the collective field we all share. When one person aligns with trust, they open a channel that others can feel. That's how transformation spreads. Not always through volume, but through vibration. So if you feel this resonance inside you, make it known to the field. Type the words, "I am allowing" in the comments. Not for validation, not for performance, but for presence. Every time someone types those words, the vibration of trust expands. A new signal is sent. A new ripple is created. And those ripples, they reach further than we know. And when you read the comments from others, strangers who are also choosing to let go, to trust, to breathe, to allow, something deeper connects you. You're reminded that you are not alone. That there is a growing current of people choosing peace over panic, flow over force, alignment over anxiety. By typing those words, you're not just leaving a mark. You're anchoring a vibration. If this message spoke to you, if it found you in a moment when you needed to hear exactly this, consider sharing it with someone you love, with someone who's been struggling to let go, with someone who has done all the right things and still feels like something's missing. They don't need another strategy. They need a frequency, a mirror, a reminder. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, not as a routine, but as a spiritual commitment to keep returning to the vibration of trust. Every video here is a transmission, a portal back to the part of you that knows how to flow. When you subscribe, you are not just receiving content. You're choosing to align with a space that holds your frequency steady when the world pulls you off center. Let this be more than a moment. Let it be a turning point, a recalibration, a return. And if you ever feel the pull of doubt again, the whisper that says, "It's not happening," or "I must not be doing enough," come back here. Not to hear something new, but to remember what's already true. Say it again with me softly. I am allowing. You are not holding on. You are not pushing. You are letting the field do what it's always been ready to do. Deliver what already belongs to you. Let this comment section be more than just words. Let it be a grid of vibration. A space where hundreds, thousands, are claiming peace, not panic. Surrender, not stress. Trust, not tension. And maybe, just maybe, your words will be the reason someone else finally lets go. Maybe your vibration will help theirs rise. That's the beauty of collective energy. What you align with individually echoes through the field universally. So now breathe one last time into this space, and if your heart agrees, type the words, "I am allowing." Because from this moment forward, you are no longer waiting. You are welcoming. There is nothing left to chase. Nothing left to figure out. Nothing more to prove. You've asked. You've aligned. You've remembered. Now you allow. Let the energy work for you. Let the current carry you. Let the wealth you called in find its way. No effort. No noise. No grasping. You are no longer trying to become. You are already vibrating. And the field is already responding. So take one final breath. Deep, quiet, complete. Let it seal the shift. And just remember, you don't need to hold on. You only need to stay open. Because what's meant for you never needed to be chased.